Fu Xuan guide time. I'm gonna get straight into the guide in case your time is as short as Fu Xuan. I'm going to cover how she works, how to build her, which characters she works well with, and whether or not you should pull her. I will start by explaining Fu Xuan's traces and then talk about how you should play Fu Xuan. Fu Xuan's basic attack doesn't deal a lot of damage, but you'll be using it mostly in order to generate skill points. Her skill is the most important part of her kit. When you use her skill, you activate the Matrix of Prescience. When this effect is activated, 65% of the damage your teammates receive is instead redistributed to Fu Xuan. While this effect is active, you also gain bonus max HP for all of your team members and bonus crit rate, which can increase your crit rate by up to 12%. Fu Xuan's talent makes it so that your entire team takes 18% less damage as long as Fu Xuan is alive. It also regenerates Fu Xuan's HP whenever she falls below 50% HP. She heals by 90% of the amount of HP she is currently missing. This can only activate when she has at least one trigger count left. She can hold up to 2 triggered counts in total. Fu Xuan's ultimate deals a little bit of damage, but more importantly, it gives you one trigger count left so your talent can proc again. Using Fu Xuan's technique will activate the Matrix of Prescience at the start of battle, but unlike the normal Matrix of Prescience activated by her skill, this one only lasts for 2 turns as opposed to the normal 3 turns. Fu Xuan has 3 bonus abilities. The first will make it so you generate 20 extra energy when you use her skill while her Matrix of Prescience is still active. The second makes Fu Xuan heal every teammate when using her ultimate. She heals for 5% of Fu Xuan's HP plus 133 HP. The third bonus ability makes your entire team immune to one use of a crowd control attack by the opponent, as long as her Matrix of Prescience is active. Once this effect is used, it will not be able to activate again until you have activated a new Matrix of Prescience. This means you can only resist one crowd control effect for each time you use Fu Xuan's skill. Fu Xuan is pretty simple to play. You start off by using her technique before entering battle. This gives you Matrix of Prescience for 2 turns. So on your first turn, you can simply basic attack. On your next turn, you will have to use your skill. This makes it so that you generate more energy, and if you do not use her skill, the Matrix of Prescience will end right after her turn, leaving your entire team exposed until Fu Xuan's next turn. Then, your Matrix of Prescience will last for 3 turns. This means you have 2 turns to use basic attacks until you have to skill again on the third turn. Fu Xuan's ultimate is mostly used to get one trigger count back for your talent. This means that if you only have 0 or 1 trigger counts, you should use her ultimate as soon as you can. If you have 2 trigger counts and you can see it will take a long time before you again get to low enough HP to use up a trigger count, you can just use your ultimate to heal your allies. Using her ultimate to deplete the toughness bar of enemies is of course also a good idea since it's an AoE attack, so it will deplete the toughness bar of all opposing enemies with the weakness to quantum. Building Fu Xuan is quite easy. The stats she wants are HP, defense, speed, and some effect resistance. Because of this, Fu Xuan can use a lot of the preservation light cones. Texture of Memories is the light cone purchasable from the Herta shop. It's useful for Fu Xuan because it gives a higher base HP and defense than the 4-star light cones. It also gives some effect resistance, which can be nice for activating the broken keel effect, and also because Fu Xuan's passive ability only can protect you from crowd control once per skill use. The extra effect resistance can be very nice if the enemies use more crowd control effects and target Fu Xuan. The shield she gains when she doesn't have a shield is also useful, because Fu Xuan doesn't normally give herself a shield. Day 1 of my new life is very good for the defense percent it gives Fu Xuan, and the all-type resistance that it gives to all allies upon entering battle. Lane Dao's choice is very nice for the increased aggro it gives Fu Xuan, making it more likely that enemies hit her. It also decreases the damage she takes whenever she takes damage. This includes the damage she takes from the redirection from her Matrix of Prescience. Trend of the Universal Market is a good option for Fu Xuan if you use her at Acheron, but otherwise it's not a great option for her. If you've pulled the Moment of Victory, it can be a good option for Fu Xuan as it increases defense and increases the likelihood of you being attacked. However, the effect hit rate that you also get from it is useless on her. Lastly, Fu Xuan's best option is obviously she already shut her eyes, as it is her signature light cone. She can make great effect of all of the stats on this. It increases her HP, energy regeneration rate, and when you take damage, all of your allies' damage is increased by 9% for 2 turns. And at the start of each wave, all of your team will be healed for 80% of their respective lost HP, which makes it kind of like a little version of her talent for everyone on her team. For leveling Fu Xuan's traces, I recommend focusing on her skill as it increases the crit rate you get from it, and also focusing on her talent because it increases how much damage reduction you get from Fu Xuan being on the field. For small trace nodes, you should go for the effect resistance and the HP. You can just ignore the crit rate. Of course, you need to activate all of her bonus abilities, but you can totally ignore the level of her basic attack and ultimate, since all it does is increase damage and her damage is very low. Farming relics for Fu Xuan is pretty simple, since she doesn't have a 4-piece set she can really make great use of. Instead, you want to run a combo of 2-piece Knight of Purity Palace, Guarded Wildwing Snow, Messenger of Traversing Hackerspace, or Longiva's Disciple. For planner ornaments, I recommend running Fleet of the Ageless or Broken Keel for general usage, or Paniconia Land of Dreams if you're using her with a quantum DPS. Sprightly One Rack is useful because of the energy regen, but advancing her first action forward doesn't really help the team at all. For main stats on the relics, I recommend using HP or defense on the body, HP, defense or speed on the feet, HP or defense on the planar spear, and energy regeneration rate on the link group. The feet depend on whether or not you want to have a fast Fu Xuan or a slow Fu Xuan. Running her fast is useful because you can use her skill more often, which means you can resist more crowd control debuffs, and you can quickly generate the skill points from using her basic attacks in her rotation. I recommend using energy regeneration rate rope on Fu Xuan to lessen the chance that you're going to end up without stacks of her talent, which makes her unable to regenerate her own HP when she gets low. It's a good idea to try to balance out her HP and defense, so if you have a lot of defense on substats, you don't need to run it as a main stat, but otherwise I would recommend using a defense percent for either her body, boots, or orb. Fu Xuan can be used in many teams as she is a sustained character, so she can be used to protect almost any DPS character, but there are a few she works especially well with. As Fu Xuan is a quantum character, she can be used in a mono quantum team, which means you use Fu Xuan with 300 other quantum characters. The most important character in this team would be Silverwolf, as you can apply quantum weakness to any enemy. Then you can use them together with Sparkle, meaning you can buff up any of your DPSs, and then you can use one of the several different quantum DPS characters. Currently we have Shui, Seele, and Qingque with Jade on the way. Unfortunately, Fu Xuan also has a few characters that she doesn't work very well with. This is mostly the damage over time characters, like Kafka and Black Swan, since they don't usually make use of her crit rate increase that she gives to the team. Outside of this, the problem is mostly using her with Jingliu, who drains the entire team's HP, which is not produced by Fu Xuan's matrix of prescience. She also has problems sustaining Clara and Blade, as their HP has a good chance of falling very low quickly. Now the question is, should you pull Fu Xuan now that her rerun is approaching in version 2.2? Fu Xuan is still one of the best sustain characters we have in the game, easily able to solo sustain on one side of the Memory of Chaos, if that is what you need. So if you only have one good sustain character currently, or maybe even zero, Fu Xuan is very useful. However, you need to remember that some of the other sustain characters that are released in this game have other abilities than Fu Xuan's abilities. Huohe, for example, gives attack percent and energy regeneration rate, which is very useful for the damage over time teams, where she easily outshines Fu Xuan. If you're using a follow-up attack team, then Aventurine is better than Fu Xuan. Fu Xuan is mostly used in these general crit damage teams, so if that is what you're going for, she can be a very good sustain character, So if you want Fu Xuan, pull her. She's still a very good character. But if you're using some of the DPS characters that she doesn't really work with, maybe you should just wait until some other supports get their reruns instead. That's it for this Fu Xuan guide. I've been using her since she first released and I've been very happy with her. And if you decide to pull her, I hope you will be too. If you just pulled her and are watching the video because you needed to understand how to build her, I hope you found it very useful. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.